So the next job is to mount this intercooler I got from Marketplace. Got to cut the old brackets off that it came with. It's a 450 by 450, I think, 120mm thick. It's got 4-inch inlet, 4-inch outlet, sorry, 3-inch inlet. I'm going to reduce the 4-inch down to 3.5 for my setup, but I've got to cut these mounts that are already on it off and then make my own mounts to suit my car. Okay, so I cut the brackets off and I've welded new brackets to mount it to the HR. That's the top mount bracket that's going to go to the radiator support panel with rib nuts, and these are the side brackets that bolt through to the original mounts where the radiator used to bolt. Now it's got to sit it in the car, make sure it fits. So I'm happy with the way the mounts turned out. That's the top one. It's going to go down. It's going to get nutserts into the radiator support panel. As you can see, I blocked off the ends there, trying to stop any air from getting around the radiator. So I've done my best to seal the sides of the radiator. As you can see there, there's no real gaps, and I've put a plate across the bottom which you can't see. And I'm going to put foam on there to seal it all up so that any air that hits the front of the car will be forced through the through the intercooler, sorry. So that's the idea behind that. So yeah, pretty happy with that. Now I've got to mount the turbo and make the hot side and the cold side piping. I've got to weld a 3.5-inch reducer onto there, and then that's going to go up 3.5-inch pipe to the throttle body. I've done the nutserts in the radiator support panel. Put 4 5mm little Allen head bolts. I'll probably change them to mushroom head ones. I think they'll look better. That's just what I had. I've tacked the reducer from the 4-inch down to 3.5 on. I did blew a massive hole, so that was good. That's what happens when you guess the amps and don't do a test. So next will be next I'm welding the adapter. So I'm using a drive-by-wire throttle body, and this elbow is designed for a LS1 style, old style throttle body. So I'm using an 82mm Bosch drive-by-wire. So I'm just welding an adapter plate with an O-ring on there. Cut the original flange off, nearly done there. Once I've done that, then it's time to make the 3.5-inch pipe from the intercooler to this. So things were going really well until I dropped my torch and this happened. So now I have to go back. I think I've got just a normal one, not a see-through one, so I have to switch over to that. But the welds are turning out not too bad. I was worried about this being cast alloy. I was worried about how well it would weld, but it's going pretty well. Okay, so this is the adapter, the throttle body adapter bolted to the motor. There's the 80mm Bosch drive-by-wire. The motor of it just clears the fuel rails. And now I've got Tark's adapters there. I'm going to use those heavy duty clamps with the O-rings in them, so no boost leaks and no pipes blowing off. So now I've got to make the pipe to go from that over to here. 3.5-inch it's going to be. I've bought a 3.5-inch donut, got some pipe, so that's the next job. I started on the intercooler pipes, and I must say, it's challenging trying to get the right angles. Hopefully I don't stuff it up. So I've got the intercooler pipes welded now. All I've got to do is weld that 90 with the reducer. I've cleaned up the inside there to smooth out the flow. All I've got to do is weld that to the intercooler now, and then that'll be the cold side done. Turned out pretty good. My welding was hit and miss. Some of it decent, some of it a bit dodge. Overall pretty good for an amateur. Okay, so this is the cold side done. Finished. Reducer down to 3.5. Tarks, clamps, 82mm Bosch drive-by-wire throttle body. Pretty happy with the way it come up. But this is the easy side, unfortunately, because now we go on to the hard side. I've got to convert a T6 flange into a T4 for the new turbo. I got to adapt the new turbo to that existing dump pipe, and then once that's all done, then I got to make the new turbo fit to this side of the intercooler, which is quite tight. It's going to be possible, but it's a tight fit, so it's going to be a bit more work in this side, but at least the other side's done. On to the next.